was James Cook anyway? He was an English navigator, an explorer from the 17th century. Many falsely believe that Captain Cook was the first one to discover the southern continent. Not quite. The first one to discover the southern continent was William Janssen, who named New South Wales New Holland. Captain Cook actually discovered the Hawaiian Islands.
Welcome to Cook's Cottage. You might ask, how did this cottage get here? So it was built originally in England in 1755. It was Captain Cook's parents' house, not Captain Cook himself. It was put up for sale in 1934, and a rich man in Melbourne, Russell Grimwade, he bought it as a centenary present for Melbourne. Our centenary was 1935. So they pulled it all apart, put it on a ship, brought it out here, put it back together here as you see it. So that's how we got it here.
So I understand that Captain Cook actually never lived in this cottage?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was his parents' retirement house. We believe he visited it once. When he got married, he brought his wife up to Yorkshire to meet his parents, but we don't believe he stayed the night. He just stood inside the kitchen probably.
And there's an ivy tree which came along with the house.
So the ivy that covers both walls, the back wall and here, was taken from cuttings from the original cottage in Yorkshire.
The building you are standing in was built in the 18th century in Yorkshire, England. You might recognise the name Cook, but the person you might be thinking of, Captain James Cook, navigator and explorer, never actually lived here. The cottage was built by his father, James Cook Sr., in 1755, when his son had already been away from home for almost 10 years. But this association was still enough for Melbourne businessman Russell Grimwade to transport it from England to Melbourne in 1933, in an effort to assert Cook's Australian connections. The 1700s in England was a time of transformation. Industrialisation moved people off rural lands and brought them together in new urban centres. Textile and coal mining industries flourished. Explorers were sailing the world in order to expand empires. An era of sea-based trade and discovery was in full swing. It was in this age of enlightenment that James Cook Sr., a farm day labourer, and his wife Grace lived in a Yorkshire town called Marton. On October 27, 1728, Grace gave birth to James Cook Jr., the second of their 8 children. Although these were humble beginnings, James would rise to the rank of captain in the Royal Navy and go on to sail 3 voyages to what Europeans regarded as the farthest reaches of the globe. It was one interpretation of Australia's history and a physical symbol that celebrated European settlement in Australia. To another part of the population, Cook is no heroic discoverer, and the cottage is a symbol of the disruption of the rich Aboriginal Australian cultures that had existed for millennia.
The 18th century stone doormat and mounting stone have survived to date.
My name is Grace, and I welcome thou to Cook's Cottage. From husband's carving above the front door, thou may see we've dwelled here since the year of 1755. The very same year, our second child, James, took his leave for the Royal Navy. Our fireplace provides warmth to dear husband after he tends his fields in brisk weather and wards off distemper at child at night. Burning bright with peat and coal, it provides heat for supper. Tonight, I prepare husband's favourite cook pot, peas broth and bacon. Hello, and the lickness plant from our abundant garden. We cooks grow vegetables and herbs there for cooking, for medicines.
What's this round thing on the bed? Watch the video till the end to find out. Note the abundance of crafts. Knitting needles, looms, handmade wooden toys. No PlayStations, thankfully.
A chill night, and rise refreshed on tomorrow. Sometimes I sit and does embroidery here, whilst child plays with a cup and ball under the flicker of our candle. Our bedding is plump with straw and feather, with fresh lavender laid upon our pillow there.
This outfit would be like a middle class to poor, you wouldn't, because the rich people had a lot more elaborate clothing.
Basically, you've got the bonnet on because no lady would be seen without a hat or a bonnet.
Yes.
And then you've got the cape. This trend is in fashion right now, the ruffles and the puff sleeves.
Yes.
But it is very 1700s.
Yes. So.
And a drawstring bag.
Yes, and you'd have the little bag.
Yeah, and a petticoat.
The second highest cause of death was burning because they'd always have an open fire, and the skirts would get caught, and then they'd.
How not to miss a single video from Learn with Samita. Simple, one word. And what's that one word? Subscribe and smash the like button. Do comment, share and subscribe. I personally reply to all your comments. Till next time, this is Samita signing out.